Okay, going live, slowly but surely. Let's see, everything is right here. Just gotta make sure we are doing the world a justice. A justice for all. Gonna make some announcements here. Closing my drive. We're gonna continue making our state machine / GOAP stuff. I'm really excited to see GOAP working, aka goal-oriented action planning. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I think I'm thinking of doing a little bit more chill session today. That means probably less chat. Well, I guess not less chat, but less energy from me. Because I am sleepy, but I also want to finish this work. But I also don't want to do it alone. So I'm being in the public, making you guys watch me do this while we chat. And plus, we're doing it a little bit later than usual today. So I have a feeling that that's going to make it so that much of our European viewers won't be able to join us today. But it's okay. It's okay. What if we do, instead of lo-fi, we do jazz? I wonder if there's lo-fi jazz. Is that a thing? A swing. I went type of thing. Anyways. Here we go. Put on some music. Some stream safe music. Not just any music. That I won't get in trouble for. And then we can get started. Let's get started. You probably didn't notice, well, maybe notice, I released 2 videos in 3 days. Isn't that crazy? That wasn't supposed to be how it was supposed to go. I had a sponsor video that I had to publish. And after I published, they were like, oh, sorry, oops. Can you like repost it with change or put it on the next one? I was like, oh my gosh. So I just did because reposting really is bad for YouTube. So I had to be like, all right, never mind. Let me just come up with a new video real quick. So turned around very quickly. Quality is not as good, but you know, we do what we can, don't we? All right. Where were we? We were trying to make this little god-like game. God-like game is weird. God manager game type of thing where we observe the world, because I think that's the best way to showcase our state machine / AI logic. Nothing better, I would think. So here we are. On the main scene, we put down a bunch of greens. And basically, I think it would be interesting to have, let's see. I mean, they have nothing to do for now, the little strawberries. But I think the first thing that we can test is for the strawberries to go pick up the seeds when they see the seed, right? So we're going to do our drop seed logic, which was where we stopped last time. So we're going to say, hey, when the drop seed button gets pressed, we're going to actually plant a seed. And over here, the planting seed logic could be its own thing. We were about to make a little plant, so we'll make a plant. I don't know if it should be character body or a node. That's something that we need to decide, but we'll figure it out. Let's say we have a berry plant. Maybe it can be a character body, so we can move it around. I mean, I don't see why it would be, because it's kind of static in the first place, so maybe that's better. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. This ended up being a very complicated thing to all put together. I was really hoping that it's just 1 or 2 things, but seems like there are a lot of like base level implementation that I need to add in order for it to kind of work in the first place. So hopefully we'll get through that. So we have some sprite. I suppose animation sprite and have different animation name be different stages of the plant, perhaps. So we have, I don't know about beginning. Default will be empty. So we'll have a sprout. Mature. And then flower. Or, hold on. Maybe it's like sprout first. So the plant will... Hey, Void. You claimed it twice. Hello, hello. You are indeed first. This is an odd day and an hour for me, for sure. So we'll see how many people are able to come in today. But either way, here we are. Oh, baby sprout here. 64 by 64. We have a little sprouting animation. Okay, so this is sprout birthing. I wonder if we should make one for every frame. Perhaps we do, actually. Hold on. Let me try that. We'll make a animation. There's sprite animation for every one of them. Or we can name them. So we can be like... Sprout idle. I keep spelling sprout wrong. Void says, I haven't gotten through it all yet. I saw your data structure video, really informative. Oh, thanks. Thanks for watching. I had to pull it up. I had to upload that in a rush because... because my sponsors were like, oh, can you change that? Oh... You can't. Yeah, no, it was this weekend was pretty, definitely was something. I will have to say that. I don't know how to explain this, but the whole weekend was very much an event for me. But thanks for keeping up with the videos. At least what I did prove to myself is that I can spin out a video in a day. The data structure video I made in a day, edited and put together. Because the sponsor was like, oh, you have to do this before October. And I was like, shoot. But that also means that maybe I got a new pattern where I can post more videos now. At least these like more lecture-like stuff. I would love to do some research and put things up. Where Voice says, first thought when the video started. Buff Ezra. Buff Ezra? Was I buff? Oh, I'm wearing a t-shirt. It's a little bit more exposed, huh? Maybe people will think that I can't program because I have body now. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. I'm not that buff. I'm not buff at all. I mean, it's just the shirt. Yeah. After the sprout, we'll go small spawn. Oh, I think we overlapped it actually. We might have to overlap it. So we'll call this sprout sprite. Animated sprite. Then we'll call this idle and then spawn. Then we're gonna make another one, which is, I guess this is going to be stems animated sprite. And then this one will also have some animation. This will play automatically for now. If it does play, I guess I could just let it play for now. I got body. That's what they say. Sprout. Flower bud. Small plant. So I do have... Okay. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. Forgot that this has like a multiple steps here. The spawn, I think, is... clump to out. That goes here, like so. There we go. Blip. And then it's not. Music's kind of weird, actually. Like that, maybe? I think this is more appropriate like that. Spawn and then idle. Apparently there's a Halloween special on protonpass that I need to update the message for. 75% off from what I hear. Even more so. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy, I think. Let's see. This is explosion. Small plant. And idle is this, I think. I do need to copy, paste like that. There you go. That's not bad. I do wonder, I do feel like it needs to be on top. And this one. Just gotta line it up properly. I don't know what goes on top. And then it'll idle. Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Hey, Protector, oh my gosh. I thought it was like 1:30. Protector says, hi Ezra, do you remember me complaining? Yeah, I do. Says, I was watching my favorite streamer playing Terraria, so I didn't go to sleep. Lamau. Protector said, mediocre. Why is it so hard to say? Mediocrity. No. Mediocrity. Why does that sound bad? That's not it, right? Where's the accent? Mediocrity. Is that wrong? Oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke. Anyways, I see. Well, I'm glad you're here at least for a minute. But I do recommend you go to sleep. Not that I'm complaining you're here. I just recommend being happy. All right. Next one. I think this is actually small. And then we're going to add one more animated sprite here. It's going to be a mature plant sprite. And we'll add, I think this one goes in front actually. Hypocrisy, my bad. Oh. Yeah, hypocrisy. Okay, that makes sense. That was like mediocrity. Oh, like mediocre life. Yeah, I get it though. It's okay. Look, nobody's gonna complain if you have to go to sleep. I understand it's pretty late. I was just mentioning to everyone that it's gonna be a bit of a chill day today because I am tired and I'm just wanting to kind of code and work. So it's going to be probably just. Wait. Yeah, this is a bud. Huh, what happened to the flower, I wonder? Well, this is a spawn where it goes like that. I do think that it needs to be in front. Maybe a little faster. Yeah. And then I almost feel like this needs to be in the front, actually. And then the idle would be this. Like so. Nice. We got our plants going. Mr. Protector says, I sometimes confuse them. Yep. Well, I do wish you luck and get rest, Ezra. Is it your actual name, though? Ezra is my name, yeah. Ezra would be an unusual stage name, I think. If it was. I think it would be an unusual stage name. Got it. Bye. Never heard of that. Wow. Yeah, really. Interesting. Interesting. Well, bye. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. Well, either way, here we are, working our little game. The side project, yet another side project. I have an issue, obviously. But you know what? I can't be blamed for this because, reason I have side projects is mainly because I'm a YouTuber or content maker. And when you're making contents, a lot of times you're making a video about building something or making a video about a certain topic, and you end up that's what you end up doing, Okay. It's empty and then it goes boop. There you go. That's pretty cool. And then we're gonna get a little plant after it blooms. Spawn happens only once. That's okay. There's no sway animation for this one in particular. So I think we're okay here. Hey, thanks for the follow, Philip. Philip Way, welcome. All right. We're working on our generic state machine / behavior tree / goal-oriented action planning toolset. I mean, yes, I can use it for myself, but mainly because I just released a video on it talking about it as an alternative strategy. I want to make a Godot package for it that people can use. Those usually do well if I just go, you have to use a state machine or AI package. And people are going to be like, AI? And they're going to join. And I'm like, oh, not Gen AI. They mean actual AI from back in the day. Yeah. Alas, the word has been defiled. Okay. Let me think about this a little bit. I got to do something here real quick. I do believe I have to post some sponsor stuff on the background real quick. I really don't want to do it. I suppose I should. No, I'm not going to do it. I am curious what the holiday deal is. Let's see. I'm going to look at my link here real quick. 60% off Black Friday deal. That's what it was. Pretty good. It's more than 50% off. That's a pretty good deal for password management. So go get it. Give me some money. Is that too real? You know what, guys? Different stages of the plant is a state machine required, right? So you could literally have a all right. I think we can use this. So we can do easy state machine. We're gonna say it's not paused. Now I'm gonna create some nodes here, which will be 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have, oh, I suppose there are stages. Okay, for the plant we have a seed stage, right? And then seed stage will be, oh, hold on, it's gonna be more like spawn seed, and then it goes to plant seed, and then it's gonna go to sprout. I keep misspelling sprout with an E for some reason. I don't know why I keep doing that. For some reason I keep thinking that sprout has E at the end, right? And then we have small plant stage. And then we have another node called flower. Or not small plant, and then mature plant stage. And then we're going to have a final stage, which is bloom. Yeah. And then it's going to probably is paused and we'll start at spawn seed. I guess we need to make sure we attach all these. We'll create a states here. Spawn seed, which will be a state node. Like so. It's going to yell at me because it's like, hey, implement all the abstract classes. And I'll be like, okay, I will. So we're here. Don't require substate machine. I don't need anything here. Get rid of this. POS. And then another one on exit. And then we have on update, which is basically on transition or check for transition. That's going to return null to begin. All right. And then basically I'm going to copy and paste it into every single states here. Hopefully this will prove to be pretty easy and simple, where I don't have to worry too much. But yes, this is a easy state machine on action. Yet to have proved my point of it being actually easy. So, you know, it's more more of a bother maybe. Godot says, how's the game coming? It's going well. This one particular, I don't know if you remember from last time, you caught the end of it. It was the demonstration of our AI tool. We need new words for AI tooling. Is it still, would you still call it AI nowadays in today's society? Where I'm talking about like game AI logic, not generative AI logic. I hate this. I hate that this is a concern that I have to think about. Anyways, so yeah, I think this is a plant's life cycle. So we're going to rename this state machine to be plant life state machine, I guess. Maybe I call it SM. I think we can call it state machine. Like so. And basically the berry plant is going to have a main thing. Berry plant body. And so clearly onReady is going to have the state machine. It's going to have all the animations, obviously, for each one of them that are accessible, like so. And basically, onReady it doesn't do anything. I think I do require a function for spawn in and start the plant's life cycle. And this is the beginning part where we go, okay, now we're going to start the state machine. Bam. And then the game is a variant. What I'm going to pass is, I'm going to pass itself the root, the character that the state is about, as the state variable, right? Magic Food Bar says, hi, Ezra and everyone. Hello, Magic Food Bar. You know what? This is kind of unusual. Most of our viewers are on YouTube today, as opposed to Twitch. Not complaining, I'm just noticing it. That's kind of crazy. Lovely. Well, welcome everyone still. Okay. All right. Okay, so the state machine starts when I call spawn. Nothing else really happens, but it's okay. So what I'm going to do, we're probably going to, when the seed gets spawned, we're going to probably play the seed spawned animation, which will be animate a sprite, and this will be seed sprite. And technically, I guess I could change things, but let's create a spawn default, and then we're going to do a spawn animation for the seed. The way we did it, I think we did it by using this explosive animation where it goes like so. And then we go to default immediately. Boom. So what you see here is going to go. I mean, technically, it would be nice if it had a little sound effect like that, and then da. Haha. Magic Fubar says, maybe your sprout comes from the many times you typed sprite in Godot. That would make sense. For some reason, every time I have something ending in starting with S and ending with T, I add E at the end. And that would make sense. Okay. So when the seed spawns, we play this. So spawn seed, the first thing that needs to happen right here. So easy, right? Because for each of the state, we're saying that the game is basically the berry plant. So when we enter this state, the first thing we need to do is play the spawn animation. So we'll go, hey, game as a berry folk, or not berry folk, a berry plant. You're going to grab the seed sprite and we're going to make it visible. And then we're going to play the animation called spawn here. Now, this, I don't know if the order matters or not. I feel like we need to turn it visible first. And then, yeah. So we played the... It's a little tricky. I think play then turn visible sounds about right. Magic 4 says, wouldn't it be easier to use berry plant instead of variant in on enter? Or can't you you can override it. The idea is that this tool, the state machine that it passes stuff, is generic. All right, it's a generic state solution. So for other stuff, the state variable might be one thing. For this, it happens to be state berry plant. So it could be whatever. So idea is you would convert it once in the beginning. You can pass down whatever. Alternatively, nothing's stopping you from doing one of these. Right? And then just use it. But that would be depending on the relational structure of the tree. So I don't like that. So yeah, no, it would be easier. I mean, technically you could just do this. Plant body. Like that. You could just do this. I mean, structurally, this is just clean in terms of applying for multiple solutions. Because this is just one state machine for the plant life. And then you have other use cases. Hey, Aussie, welcome. Right. So if I don't know if this will let me. Would it let me? Because it doesn't match the abstracts. I mean, it would if I get rid of this and say, hey, you don't have to worry about it. It can be anything. Like, it's like saying any. And this might be like, this signature doesn't match. So, it doesn't work, unfortunately. So the best way to do it is this, unfortunately. Yeah. It's the kind of side effect of the code or language itself, but you know, it's not terrible. It's not a terrible thing to work around where it becomes so annoying. Right? So I think we're okay. Yeah, it won't let you. I mean, that would be nice if we have some sort of like generic, because in Java you have something like this where you can like define what the variant is. So like if I have something like, you know, generic T or type T, then I could be like, oh, you know, Though I'm surprised with the recent like dictionary typing thing that there is no such thing as the generic type. Either way, yeah. As long as it's readable, it's okay. Okay, so we're spawning the seed, which when this happens is going to play the spawn animation on enter. It becomes visible, it does this, and then once it's done, we don't need to really await, I think. What we can do on this state, technically I could await here and then do the next thing where we go, hey, await on plant body seed sprite animation to finish. Then, you know, play default. And this will be in parallel anyways, because the dependent parent who's calling on enter is not awaiting on this anyways. So that's one. And then this is the state life cycle. I don't want it to do a little bounce thing. I'll just have it like that maybe. Have it drop a little bit. I wonder if the spawn seed needs to go into a dropping. I mean, I could manually do that. Might not be too difficult. Yeah. Like that. So on update, I could just be like a spawn seed on update. This is where the state explosion might be happening, but I think this might be easier for me to handle. So seed spawned, and we say drop seed. At least it's in series, so things are not going to be moving between states. It's just in order, so maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it won't be too crazy. So far, I'm not having such hard time keeping track with what's happening. So on update, we'll be like, hey, like, if plant body, what do you call, seed sprite is at default and is playing, meaning it's not playing anymore, it's just finished playing. Or actually, if it switches to default, I think, because it doesn't start from default, I think. We go default and visible. Yeah, I think it's okay, because it doesn't trigger until... If it becomes default, we're going to transition to dropping a seed. Yeah, there you go. Otherwise, we're not doing anything. On drop seed, so over here, seed sprite, we're going to probably start from the top to bottom like that. So on update, Magic Food Bar says, I missed the multiple type declaration from PHP-like function. Yeah, I mean, those are nice. The ORs, PHP and JavaScript and Node.js, they all do that. What I like about Java that I'm used to, Java has something called generic typing. So you know how, like, you're familiar with this. When you go array, you get to do, like, define a type here. So generic typing would be creating your own class where client or users can define their own type of the sub elements. And that would be useful in this case. That would be perfect. I wonder if they're looking for that. Hold on. GT script generic type for class element. Let's see if they have something. Does not directly support user-defined generic, right? I want to know if there's an issue cut for that. Denimal says, oh, look, who decided to show up? Hey, it's me. Hazi says, change skin, Wiseberry. Yes, Wiseberry's good. There might be, oh, okay, there is an issue. I wonder if people will unify the Godot type system by adding a new type class. Enum, class GD type. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Hold on. GD script generic type. When a generic typing is there. Add generic parameter to allow strongly typing. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Dictionary. Okay, whatever. It's been in the talks for a while. Seems like this is under unified Godot typing system for some reason. And this was August 3rd, not too long ago. Add typed weak ref to GD script. I don't know what weak refs are. Then it says 2 more weeks till my surgery. Oh wow, so soon. Well, good luck, good luck. We're still anticipating a good time. You'll be okay, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's not very clear to me if that feature is coming or not. But yeah. Either way. So let's say we start. Let's spawn the seed at the starting height. Whatever starting height is defined by this. Like visually. And then I'm going to try to drop it to 0. So on update, basically what we're going to do for the plant body. We're probably going to say, okay, here's the 2 things. I could put the logic of lowering the seed sprite on this in the state or in the plant itself, you know? And that's the trick here. I'm going to do it here for now. Plant body. Seed sprite. Position. I'll tween this to 0, I think. I think that might be the easiest thing to do. Honestly, I almost don't feel like I need a state for this, but yeah, I'm not going to use gravity. I'm just going to tween it in the beginning. Let's do that. It's probably easier this way. So we'll have the position be tweened. So we'll say create tween set trends as we want to go from, I think it's not linear. I'm looking for slow to fast. The problem with cubic is that it slows down again. So I think what we're looking for is probably either exponential or let me see what this does. The animation is interpolated with exponential. Quad. Oh, quad is what we're looking for. Quadratic. Yeah. And that will be our drop tween. And then we'll tween property of the sprite position. And it's going to be the position going down to vector 2 of 0, 0. And maybe it'll take, I don't know, 0.3 seconds. right? And that's going to be the drop tween here. We'll say var drop tween equals tween. And basically if is running, if it stops running, then we're going to transition and then we're going to kill this. There you go. Kill it on exit so it doesn't immediately transition next time. Magic 4 says, of course, more for using with different classes instead of basic data types. It's possible for arrays to define a type. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if we can define our own elemental type. Denimal says, daughter lost my stylist. Now I can't do game art. Anyone looking for a new kid? Wait, how did your daughter lose your stylist? Oh, you mean stylus, like the little pan. Oh. You can put her to work. And say you're buying it. That's funny. It's okay. You can draw with your finger on your phone, I think. That's cute though. All right. Drop tween. Oh, wow. Look how dark my face is right now. I'm back. The light is on. Oh. I was in the cloud. The city is a little cloudy right now. I mean, I could... Is this too bright? Is this too bright now? Should I lower the temperature a little bit? No, I think this is okay. There you go. Okay. Buggy says, hi, Ezra. Hi, Buggy. Long time no see. Daniel says, lol, child labor is always the best option. It really is, isn't it? Don't tell the government, though. That sounds sounds so bad. Okay, once the seed gets dropped, I think we're going to plant the seed. Which I guess we don't... Sprout makes more sense, I think. So once it drops... Should we make the mound? Maybe we should do the mound. Here. Sprite 2D. And then make a dirt mound. I don't know if we have that here. Oh yeah, we do have it. Nice. A dirt mound here. And then I want to see what it looks like with the rest. The dirt mound almost seems like it needs to be down here. There you go. Okay. Beautiful. Dirt mound, which is also invisible to start. Magic Food Bar says, just wondering, but wasn't the protonpass discount 6% instead of 50? Well, it's right now it says 50 because that's what the deal was, but during the Black Friday they updated to 60%. So I guess I should update that. Fine, I'll update the language. I don't know if I put... So there's also a banner I can put on my stream. I just don't want to feel like... I don't want people to look at my thumbnail and see the ad banner and they're like, don't want to go there. But I suppose I could update the chatbot real quick. Lil Diablo actually says, hello, bro. Hello, bro. Brusky. Welcome. If you guys are in need of password manager, go check out the link and get some 60% on a nice password manager and give me some money. No, there are better ways to support me. If you really want to support me, always direct support is the best. But if you are in need of something like it anyways, then might as well. All right, where's the proton pass here? Proton pass, boop. What is it? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the language. They say something about... I guess I'll just say 60% off, right? There you go. Boom. And then I can just update the language on the timered one. Get 60% off manager Black Friday deal. I guess. Get 60% off from... There we go. Good enough, right? I don't need a banner. I think this is good enough. I don't have much hope on selling any of these, but you know, it's a hustle here. Void says I support with squats. Goodness. All right, let's do some squats. So Void just redeemed our deep squat X12, which means we got to do some 12 squats out here. Unless you're bedridden, which I understand if you are. It's time for us to do some squats. And the idea is that we always do squats together. So here we go. Don't be afraid. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Solid 12 squats right there. That's for all of us, right? Good job, everyone. And our berry world has crashed, so let me restart. Buggy says, okay, I'll do squats in my imagination. All right. I guess that's acceptable if you're doing squats in imagination. It seems like every time I change the scene, the berry world crashes, so that's something I need to figure out. Which also means, Void, you need to redeem your first again. Or first is up for grab again, I guess, technically. Whoever has the fastest latency will grab this, I guess. Ooh, Void got it. Okay. I do feel like I need water, though. I'll do that later. Okay, so we dropped the seed. Drop between here. Instead of redefining it, we're just assigning it now. And then once it's done, we're running this. We're returning and we're going to the sprout stage. Like so. Now, seed spawning. Maybe we need to change this, actually. Maybe we don't need a drop. We drop and then we're not sprouting. We're just going to leave it there, I think. When we enter the drop seed, it's coming in here. And then it doesn't really exit, does it? It tweens. And then that's it. Doesn't really need this killing thing. And even if the tween is done... Oh, I guess I should make it so that the state is pick-upable. So instead of plant seed state, we'll call this idle seed, meaning it's just sitting still. So we'll have it get dropped. And once the drop animation is done, it's going to die. Instead of going to the sprout mode, we're going to go to idle seed mode. And to us, that means it's ready for transition. It's ready to be planted. And this is where, at this stage, we'll make it so that the berry folk can come and pick it up. Wow, look at our state machine just kind of working, huh? Well, it's not really working yet, but that's the idea at least. Buggy just redeemed hydrate. Thank you. I'm going to go get some water. I'll be back. Let me mute myself real quick. Forgot to prep my water cup before starting stream today. I was a little rushed. Water is being drunk. Wait, is that right? Grammatically correct? Water is drunken. I'm drinking, whatever. I'm drinking water. So, whatever is grammatically correct form of that. And I also brought myself a little raspberry nectarine Waterloo sparkling water. All right, so when we're dropping seed, I want to spawn seed here, right? So I think what we're saying, the spawning action happens via this. We'll go boop, instantiate, and then we'll probably, you know, choose this position in a random spot between something, right? So we can have vector spawn range be a rect2, and then that can be where we choose the random spawn position. Buggy Burrow says raspberry water. Very on brand today. Oh, right. Everything is berry up in here. Didn't you know? We're very thematic. Honestly, at this point, we have a strong enough brand that I should probably do some berry merch. Just for people who care about it. I completely missed my mouth. I hope it doesn't stain. Speaking of berry merch, what should we do? Should we do a vote? I mean, is there enough people? There are 10 people on the chat right now. All right, chat, pay attention real quick. Pay attention real quick. I'm sorry. I'm just going to need your quick poll. Should I do it on Discord, actually? I should do a poll on Discord. Right? I should do a poll on Discord. All right, just quickly just throw ideas on there. Berry merch. What do you need? Do we need, I mean, given the fact that only thing I can do is draw something on something, we got like apparel, cap, t-shirt, mousepad, or print. Is there anything else that can be? Hold on. Graphic or sticker, right? Oh, so it could be a sticker too. We could do a sticker, mug. Okay, sticker. A mug is hard to transport. Let's forget mug. Though I guess mug could be okay. Sticker, mug, t-shirt, cap, mousepad. What else? Song or alerts. Berry themed song or alerts, but you guys can't buy it. This is like kind of like a fundraise, I think. Magic Fubar says, can you sew? No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can order merch for these. Plushies. How to get plushie merch. I mean, we already have a Godot plushie out there. I wonder what it takes to get your own custom plushie. I love the plushies, but I don't know how to make it work here. Can I get one here? I'm gonna need help figuring this out because I can't make it myself, but I can at least design it. And you know, I'm pretty sure they have like minimum amount, like minimum count. Fuggy says true. We don't want no Temu Ezra plush. Yeah. It says we collaborate with each creator to design unique product for their fans. Okay, I mean this seems okay. My only concern is that they're going to be like, oh, you need to order at least 1,000. that would be I don't know. 300? 300 is minimum. That would be sick, though. I would love to have a Wiseberry plushie. Right? If we're going to get a berry plushie, it has to be a Wiseberry, right? All right, I'll keep note. I'll do Wiseberry plushie. Zabazev says, I want a berry shirt that says, this man sacrificed his grandpa with smiling berry man. That's funny, but that's also random. That's funny. Buggy says, I'm sure Weird Void will bulk buy at least 50. Right, we're going to have some scalpers out here. I want a scalper to buy all my stuff. Okay, anyways. Spawn range. So it's definitely going to be its position as a minimum. Can you do random vector? Is that a thing? Rand. No, you have to do it yourself. So we can do random I range I for position X to position X plus size width or size X, like that. And that's the X random X value. And this is a random Y value. Right. And then spawn X, which will be int. Lo-fi beats. Plushies does sound good. I mean, I feel like the whole thing with the strawberry folk, having a plushie probably will do well. I mean, at least I want one. That'd be cool. We'll have to do some research. If anybody's got nothing to do or something to do but one distraction, can you do a kind of like a quick research on Makeship or whatever and then send it to me? I'd appreciate it. All right, here we go. Spawn Y. X and Y together, they make what? They make a coordinate. All right, so we got the plant and we're setting the plant position. Why is this warning me? It's saying that float is converted. Okay, well, fine. We'll do float here instead then. Float here, float here. I do want to... Whatever. Buggy says, I'm sure Weird Void will bulk buy. No, I already read that. Sorry, guys. I keep reading the same thing. It also really depends on the cost. If it costs me upfront like thousands of dollars before like selling them, that'd be crazy because, you know. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got distracted. I was doing something real quick. Ah, yes. Plant position X and Y, and then they will get inserted. So we'll add child to the map, maybe. I think it should be under the map. Everything that lives on the map should be under the map. So I'll go boop. Add child, the plant. Excuse me. So, and then once it gets added, we gotta immediately say spawn. So it does the spawn cycle. Let's see how that goes. Oh, whoops. I didn't set the range. Spawn range, let's say from... This is what? How big is the window here? 1152 to 648. So we'll just do like 160 or 50 and then do 1152 to 648 minus 50, and then minus 100. And call it a day. Let's see if it works. Nope. Debug. Push state. Our first bug, guys. I mean, this makes sense because we haven't run a single code on this one so far. So we're finally getting to a debugging stage. Love it. Buggy says, how about mugs? Mugs would be nice too. Buggy says, yeah, plushies sounds a little expensive on your end. Let's see. Making fan merch. Mugs. I don't know what the best place to be. I have made a t-shirt or sweatshirt once from a website, so that might have something. I'm trying to see if Printify is the best place to do it. It was like, I forgot what it was called. Oh, this is pretty cool. Earned from selling custom mugs. Okay. Why does it say nothing about the price? And also, should it be a pixel art or should it be a painterly strawberry drinking strawberry juice or something? I don't know. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't log in live like this. Oh, I'm kind of tempted to make some designs right now. I'm getting really distracted. It sounds fun. Sounds fun. I would do it. I don't know about you. Who cares? YouTube says a bug? Where? Let me squish it. No, this bug is our friend, Buggy Burrow, right here. Who cares? YouTube says it's okay. We saw your credit card information already. No, it's okay. It's gonna get declined anyways. That's not true actually, but I would like to cosplay that I am in that stage of life. Don't squish me, says Buggy Burrow. Yeah. All right, mama. Okay, so we got push state. It says can't take value from empty array. It doesn't like. Well, how come? Hold on. It didn't even break there though. It's just saying that it can't do this. Okay. So what's so empty? Oh, it can't pop because it's empty. Yeah, I mean that's okay. If the last state in the check is the same, do not. Yeah. I mean, if it is not empty, do this check. Fine. That's okay. That's not the issue here. Issue right now is that the berry plant, when it gets planted and spawns, the state machine doesn't really start here. When we start it, it does a reset and paused becomes false. And then first thing that happens is the spawn thing, where the seed sprite should become visible, like so. So I want to see that happen, but it's not working. So let's check. Let's check. So I come over here. Magic Fuvar says, I have posted all ideas I heard in Discord under suggestions. Feel free to move that elsewhere. Also, I don't want to be a Discord mod in case you ever thought of that. I mean, you're kind of doing it freely. I won't give you a title. How about that? I'm not going to be like, hey, Magic Food Bar, do this for me. Like, you won't be ever a go-to. But whenever you're around and you feel like doing it, you can. You know what I mean? You're not my mod. No. But you can have mod privileges. You don't have mod. You're not officially a mod. Nah, pass. Hey, what do you mean? It's like being in a relationship for many, many years with all the responsibility of marriage, but not being married. You know, it's perfect for you, right? Buggy says, with mod privilege comes great responsibility. Yeah, it does. What was the word? Pseudo something? Pseudo something? I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. Okay, let's look at the remote. It is there. I'm not. Hold on. What is this position here? 287 by 527. Nothing is visible here. I do wonder. It does seem like something is not playing, and this is where we want to. So at least it's getting inserted, but some of the code's not executing. So let's see how this goes, shall we? Boom, boom. Drop seed. It's not coming here at all. It might be the issue with the type match. Whole variant situation might not be working. That'll be tragic. Let's see what this looks like. I think that might be it. Man, the whole typing in Godot is what makes it hard for me to do any kind of like... Oh, current state is null. Okay. Huh, okay, wait, hold on. Why is it null? Current state is the value. It's star. Oh, I didn't give a start state. Whoops. My bad. Okay, spawn seed. Okay, that makes sense now. It's so easy to forget. Pseudo relationship. Hey, I know what you're talking about. Parasocial. Parasocial. Okay. We played it, and then when we're trying to go default, it's like, what are you talking about? It's true. It's idle, not default, isn't it? That's what we named it. Oh, no, it is default. Go to default. Default. Oh, whoops. There you go. Okay, so far it wasn't State Machine's fault. It was my logic's fault. So far. Right there. Nice. Like that. Yay, look at all these seeds. I suppose we could have a shadow. Do I have to draw one? I guess I should. At least shadow is not a complicated thing to draw. We'll just do 16 by 16 oval here. Just kind of black color here, and then one of these. Boom. Call it that. A shadow. A little tiny, but it's okay, because it's just a location marker, anything. So we'll do PNG and say tiny shadow under FSM, and we'll put it under plan for now. Tiny shadow. And then we'll put a sprite for it. The top. And shadow comes with the seed. Boom. And we'll make it modulate semi-transparent. This is invisible. Both are invisible. We'll make it visible for this state where the shadow, so we'll say shadow when we're spawning it, it's visible. Plant body. Shadow is visible. Magic Footbar says, goodbye, everyone. Wait, are you running away? Thanks for the follow. Hodamofodar. Okay. Magic Footbar says, right. At green. Twitch name, I can't read. Well. I have an appointment tomorrow morning and it's getting late here. All right, bye, Magic Foodbar. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for volunteering to be a Discord mod, though. Appreciate it. As Magic Foodbar goes away, that's the last thing they hear. No, I'm just kidding. Go. I'm kidding. I was just playing with you. Go. Good night. Who cares? YouTube says, lol, who wants to be a mod? I get asked by a few streams I watch if I want to be mod, and I decline them all. I don't want that much responsibility. Plus, I want to be an innocent peasant. You know, some people like the power. I mean, I ask around sometimes. But thing is, like, you know, being a mod is hard. It's hard. It's like an extra job. So I can't ask people to do that. Also, if I make someone a mod, I wish I could pay them so I can actually ask them to do stuff. It's like an awkward relationship that doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out for neither of them. I get disappointed that the mod can't do as much and I can't ask directly. You know what I mean? And then the mods feel awkward because they feel like they have a second job. Okay, so we're going to turn on the shadow immediately on enter of sponge seed. And then we're going to keep it awake on enter seed. And the reason I'm doing this here as well as the other state is because just in case we're switching state, we're saying in this state, we want this spawned. And we want it spawned over here as well on an idle seed, which we're transitioning to. Right? We're transitioning to idle seed. Idle seed just means that it's transportable now. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Magic Footbar. You don't have to do anything. I was just kidding. I think. Anyways, so we have it here. We're going to get a little shadow spawn so it looks a little bit better. There you go. Oh, maybe I should lower that. Yeah, it seems like I need to lower it. The shadow needs to be like that. Up. There you go. Yeah. Let's try that again. Oh, wrong one. On main. Spawn. Boom. 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 Like that. It's not planted yet. We're gonna have to probably by default add a berry folk. So in this start, we're just going to say start. And we'll probably add a berry folk to start here. I mean, maybe I don't even do it programmatically. I just kind of insert it manually. We'll have one berry folk. The grandfather berry folk. That will live here. In the middle. Oh, it's old. His age needs to be changed. We need a state machine for the age. Seems like. State machine. And we have, hey, see, multiple state machines. Look at us go. Okay, as much as I said a video of being like, stop using state machines, I am still using state machines. I mean, that was the whole point of that video anyways. Just information. Age, state, right? And then we have 3 states out here, which is young, mature, old. And this one depends on the berry age. And so we'll say, hey, berry's going to have age, which on spawn will start at 0, I think. So on ready, we'll say age starts at 0, starts at age 0. And basically, I mean, this, you could be like, hey, this seems a little bit messy, but I think it's okay. We'll say this is going to be like age state. And we'll create logic for each one of them. So we got young. And that's going to be state node. And same thing as the other stuff. We need these like default thing. All right, we need the on enter, blah, blah, blah. We'll pass this real quick. Return null. And basically we're going to do the same everywhere. Berry folk age state, mature, old. Right. Here. And logic is pretty simple here. Age state will also be present in the beginning. And an age state machine, I guess I should call age state machine here. And age state machine will start initially where the self is passed. And basically transition happens to mature, then old. From mature to old. Old to dead probably, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Transition happens if the berry folk age, which I think we defined already here, right? Age is greater than, I don't know, like, let's say that life expectancy is like 15 years. So if it's greater than 5, then we return to mature, right? And they don't decide how the age progresses, so it's good. And then we're going to have the same thing on mature here. I mean, this is a very simple state machine. Regardless, I am making it. And this one's going to be like, hey, if you get older than 10-year-old, it becomes old, and then at old, nothing happens. What happens when these states get entered? What we're going to do is we're probably going to change the berry folk resource, which right now we have this like old, young, and mature resources. So we're going to basically, when we're entering these states, we're going to say, hey, berry folk as berry folk. The resource, which is, I think, called berry folk resource, will become a preload of these resources. So this one's going to have young, like so. So it becomes young at the beginning. And on mature, same thing. I mean, so far, I think, okay. You know, the thing about state machine, I knew this, and you guys probably know this, but something that I am severely experiencing it on hand is that it's extremely convenient way to organize. It doesn't necessarily make your code shorter, right? It doesn't make your code shorter, because technically this would have been a lot shorter if I made it a if-then cases. Wouldn't it have been? It would have been, because it's just a single execution and transition on age. So it didn't have to be this, but it kind of cleans up the organization. Of course, that means the downside is that you're really bloating the system, but what do I know? All right, so we're going to do this. Let's put a year. So we're going to say label, year number, and we'll just say year 0. This one probably will update based on the actual year. We're going to put a blackboard of a game state. We'll probably... I mean, this might be a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyways. No, maybe I don't. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we can manually increase the year. I'm thinking about it. As soon as the game starts, year is at 0. So we can say var year, right? And then we can have a timer. Who cares? YouTube says, lol, I was proven wrong today by AI. Shorter code doesn't always mean best performance. I asked AI to improve my script performance and it came up with a larger file, but it performed much better. Oh, I gotta go grab food. Hi, Celine. Sorry, I stepped up as soon as Celine got here. I was like, oh no, Celine's about to get on. I gotta get away. Hotel Soap says, what did the code do? Huh? Oh, you mean the shorter AI thing. Who cares, YouTube? Okay, let's see. Nightbat, hi. Did you get over and learn what was better? What do you mean? Perfect timing. What are we talking about? Anyways. Oh, by the way, we're thinking about making plushies for Berry Folks, Celine. Or something. We need to get some merch out there that we can all purchase that we feel good about. I think first thing is we're looking at a mug. So we'll try to probably make some design out there. And Nightbat, you gotta tell me what you're talking about in terms of context, because I don't know what you're talking about. And then Who Cares YouTube says, lol, I was proven wrong today by AI. Shorter code doesn't always mean best performance. Yeah, it's true. I asked AI to improve my script performance and it came up with a large file, but it performed much better than my current smaller file. Yeah, file size doesn't necessarily mean less instruction. Though, I mean, there's some truth to, like, if you compartmentalize too much, then you have a larger call stack. And every call is 3 instructions, right? But we'll see. Celine says, oh, yes, I found a neat vid on monads. Sent it into the server. Oh. What is monads? Write better code with monads. Let's take a look. At least I'm going to read the description. I don't want to get potentially flagged. Oh.
You had to pick the most inaccessible.
Oh, hey, I've watched his video sometimes. Or their video. If you had to pick the most inaccessible terms in all of software engineering, monad would be the strong contender for what is monad? We were in a square. Okay, let me hold on. Into function monoid. Okay. So it seems like transforming function to be simply executed as opposed to into a single. Issue. Number with logs. Okay, we're looking at yes, okay. Argument of type number with logs is not assignable. Add on. New function is... Okay. So you're not... You're wrapping it? Okay, perhaps I should watch this at later time. Or watch it here. I'm not sure if it's okay or not. But that's something I could do, I guess. But it's exciting. I would love a summary, but I will also take a look. Nightbat says a person said the AI gave them. Oh, I see. We're talking about Who Cares YouTube. Yeah, tell us more, YouTube. What do you mean? What happened? What was the difference that made it more performant? Corey says, do you have any videos about how you started with game dev / coding? Curious about your journey and why you started YouTube videos. Ooh, do I have a video for you? I do have a video for you. Okay, well, it's going to be a harder watch than my most recent videos just because I wasn't that good at making a video. But the story is I started with Godot doing a solo dev 2 years ago now, which surprisingly, okay, this is so sad. I got spoiled with my first video. I got 46K view on my very first video I posted. And I was like, I thought this was normal. I was like, oh, wow. Because I got laid off from Google, basically. I worked at Amazon for 7 years. I worked at Google for like 2 years. And then the big tech layoff happened, and I happened to be like already like looking into game devs, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is a great opportunity. I got 6 months of severance, so I'm gonna just do what I want. So I posted this video, minimal edit. It was like literally half devlog, half like announcement. Kofi says lol wild. Yeah, I know. So this was my first video, and then a day after I posted this to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a little logging, and that also got 2,000 views. I was like, okay, it's not as good, but whatever. I guess this is actually normal. And then the third video got 139K views. Look, my beginning was way too good. And I think I should have probably kept going with this for a specific channel because a lot of people were curious about like just tech world in general. And then I pivoted. Basically, it was a pivot because I started doing devlogs where it wasn't as big. It's still pretty good, I guess. And so, like, I don't know. Maybe I was just better at making video in the beginning. But yeah, I had a pretty good performance in the beginning. And then I really hard pivoted to these, like, I'm just going to do game dev stuff, which was definitely a harder thing. And then I made a I made a dialogue plugin, which did pretty well. I was like, okay. And then, of course, struggle. And then I made a roguelike deck builder tutorial, 214K. Struggle. I mean, I have hits here and there, but it mostly is struggle. But that's how I started. The journey is that it's been 2 years. I don't know. I mean, generally on average, I think I'm doing okay, but it's hard to be consistent. Corey says, well, wow, that's super cool. Yeah, appreciate it. Let's see. Who Cares YouTube says, the code was there long before me, but the code basically took a large file, made a shadow copy, did 4 different regex against the shadow copy, did multiple. Yeah, regex is kind of tricky because like regex is really fast and then really slow. Did multiple if statements to see if the regex returns anything, create a JSON file, and output the results if the results match the regex, and then close out of the file. Original code was 60-ish lines. AI code was 200-ish lines, but did a lot of optimization for things such as like reading file, writing to. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if it's detecting pattern. If you hard code those patterns, it's typically faster to detect. I would know because I use heavy amount of regex for any kind of like creating scripting languages, especially for my dialog plugin. So I don't know. I'm looking for my next big thing for my channel, but at least I have some ideas. I think it'll be okay. I'm not too worried, actually. YouTube is fun. I'm going to keep doing it. Either way, Celine says, how have the streams been since the last time I was here? Got real busy with trying to look for a job in college. Oh, I know. That's a real struggle. It's been fun. We pivoted a little bit because I was making a video. I'm kind of making a package, another like resource template thing for Godot. My attempt at making an add-on for AI and game flow, which includes supercharged finite state machine, behavior tree, and the Go AP, which is goal-oriented action planning, which is an AI strategy for pathfinding into how the AI should behave based on the goal. I think this is a great idea. So I'm trying to test it right now. So I'm testing it by making my own example so I can make a quote-unquote devlog on, hey, I made this tool. This is what I made with it, and this is things I can do with it. I might release it, get interest up. People say, hey, I would love to see that. What is it? And then I will post it on GitHub and then do a little tutorial on how to use it, just like how I did with my dialog plugin. And so that's the plan with this one. So as an example, what I'm making right now, as per suggestion from the stream, is one of those like God Manager game where the little AIs do their own thing. And then, you know, you interact with the world just like here and there. So for example, right now, there's going to be a berry folk here. We drop a seed into the world and they have to go grab it and plant it on a fertile ground or something like that. So that's something I'm looking into right now. Well, not looking into, but we're working on it. So that's what's been happening. Dread on Arrival is still at work, but we're taking a brief pause. It's technically a series, this task, because I just published a video on Sunday, right? which was this clickbait. Stop using state machines. Well, kind of. So this whole thing was introducing alternatives to state machine for AI programming. So this is a result of my research. And I'm trying to prove this research that I talked about by doing this. And that will be, you know, threefold, I think. That'd be interesting. And then I, of course, did this data structure thing, because I had to release one really fast. But yeah, here we are. We're here. Okay, so I was going to add timer for actually season, day timer. And so basically every second will be a day for now. And wait time 1 second is going to auto start. And my idea is that whenever this times out, we're going to add a year. Or not year. I don't know. What's I guess day. Let's call it day. We're going to add 1 to the day every second, which we can change it later, but for now, that's what we're going to do. And we'll say day number here. And basically, this one probably should update based on this. So we'll do that. Where... And we're going to only do this if the node is ready. Okay. So here we are, and then we go, hey, day number. Every time we update it, we're going to say text equals day. Boom. And then we'll have day as part of it. So we should see the counter go up. Oh, it's not declared. Yes. Wrong script. So we're going to go back to our Berry Folk, which is already open. Young goes to mature. Mature goes to old. There you go. And basically, whenever the day increases, I suppose we should count the year. Or year int 0. And this is a better way to do it, but if day mod, wait, is mod, does this work? Day mod 365 equals 0. We're gonna say year plus equals 1. I think. A sign is not allowed inside an expression. Yes, like that. So every year is going to increment the year by 1. And when the year is incrementing, we're basically grab everybody who has age, I think. So we'll grab this and we'll put it under the group of age entity, or I guess this would be like has age or something like that. Each. Wait, that's right. Okay. And then over here, it's going to be like every time we do this, we're going to get tree, get nodes in group, has age, and for age entity in this group, we're simply contracting ourselves to have the name be, proper name be age, so we don't have to guard against that. I guess we could do this as property Or can I do has property? Can you not do that? I guess not. What about attribute? No? Okay. I'll just go age. Plus equals 1. That's it. And hopefully we'll witness our berry folk age. Okay. All right. Another error here. Sprite frames is null. It says invalid access to property or key sprite frames on base subject of type null. Ah, the resource is null. Okay. So we'll basically go, hey, check for null. Easy. Boom, boom, boom. Just fixing, bug at a time. Call function start in base null. Okay, so this one doesn't exist either. Why? Because did we rename this? Yes, we did. We're now just regular state machine. All right, here we are. Day is going up. This guy is still old and it's kicking. But it's okay, it's okay. By default, I think we're saying that it's going to go idle. Is there a start? There isn't a start. I think it does need to automatically start. It'll just go to idle. Okay. We're getting there. All right. Berry folk. State machine, this one starts at idle. This one should start at young. Okay. Boom. Okay. It's at young and it just kicked. Why did it kick? First thing it did as soon as it spawned is kicking people, which is kind of funny. So it starts at idle. It transitioned to kick if it is kicking. And it's by default false. So I don't know why it transitioned to kicking. Is that default? I'll just do this. So Lisa says, I think that's what newborns do in real life too. Really accurate to IRL. I know, this is a life simulator. Did you know that? Apparently so. Okay. It would be cool if I can have like the display, like the state display built in to the node. So instead of it being like extends node, it extends node to D. So it can label out, maybe. That's something I can work on. Either way, this is supposed to be idle. It starts automatically. Well, it doesn't even have to. I can just make it pause to start. When Berryfolk gets ready, it starts immediately. And once it starts, it's going to be in idle. Once it enters idle, it's going to do this. And idle is this animation. So I'm not really sure why it does a kick animation. That's really puzzling. Somehow it's transitioning state. Oh, it did enter a kick state. How did this transition even happen? Where are we going from? Who allowed this transition? I'm gonna have to look at the history here. It's starting at kick. Starting at idle. Do we even enter this on start? Weird. Okay. I'm kind of curious where the transition is happening. I'm gonna go over here. Let's see what happens. Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, oh. Whoops. I messed up the flag. Whoopsies. That will do it. Okay. If it is kicking, it's kicking. If it is kicking, it's kicking. If it has target, then it's walking. All right. Well, good to know. I think that's the most common bug that I cause myself every time. Okay, seems like the idle is not auto-playing. So we're going to go look at our resources and make sure our sprite frames are correct. Item is on repeat. Old idle is on repeat. Idle is on repeat. So why is it then it's not playing on repeat? When we enter idle, we do this where we play the idle animation. And I don't think it's transitioning to anything, right? So we'll go over here again. It's not doing my squat. Do your squat, boy. Let's see. Tile map, berry folk, animate a sprite. It's at idle, but it's not playing. Center animation is idle, frame is 0. It's playing only once, or it's not even playing once. Interesting. Interesting. There might be an order issue, like the order operation. Because the age states changing the resource. And when the resource gets changed, the sprite frame gets updated. That means whatever was playing before might not be playing. So I think whenever this switch happens, whenever the age switch happens, I think we need to re-enter whatever state we're in. Interesting. To a point, I feel like it might almost be more convenient to you know what? I'm going to do this. Instead of doing it on enter, if I'll do this way. So if the berry folk animated sprite is not playing, or the animation name is not idle, right? I think that's what we're calling it. Yeah. If that's the case, if the animation is not playing on update, then we're going to just simply say, hey, why not play idle? Like so. Which I guess is the same as calling idle, but let's try that. I think that might work better. Celine says, I do gotta go. Hope stream goes well. Well, thanks, Celine. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great time with job search / end of the school. I know those are some formidable years that are at your way. All right. We got a squatting berry. Of course, that means we want to add a little Mr. Shadow here for appropriate thing. Get our tiny shadow. Boom. And then maybe we'll put a little bit of modulate. Okay. Almost there, almost there. We got our little young berry. The days are going up very slowly. So we're going to sit here for a bit before it ages. So I think what we actually need to do now, probably make the age go up faster so we can kind of see him getting older, right? We want to see our berry folk age. So we'll add 365 per day per second. Very fast. Aha, matured. You see that? You see how my berry is aging? And it's all now. Oh. We got it. It's working. Okay, maybe like we should do 10 days a day. 10 days? 30 days? 30 days sounds about right. But it's working. It's working. We got the aging berry. So we have our state machine working. We got the age state that changes the space sprite. We have the state machine for the animation selection. Ha! Corey says, I don't know if you've explained this already, but what is a finite state machine? What is it indeed? A finite state machine is a basic programming concept pattern. Basically, you have a finite number of states, right? States being a state of the system. It could be refrigerator, it can be vending machine. In our case, it's our character. And the characters can be in specific states. And you can think of this as normally when people program, that might be like, oh, if this, do this, if that, do that. Where if blah, blah, blah is identified as a little design pattern of states. So we have this where each of the states are either idle, kick, walk, or rest. Meaning for this berry, I expect there to be a state of being at rest, walking, kicking, or being at idle position. Why is it important? Because you can decide how they transition to other states. So while in idle, the transition to kicking may not happen until somebody requests kicking, or resting requests resting, and stuff like that, right? State machine is that relationship of transition between states of the system. So oftentimes, the visualization of the state machines are represented as what you're familiar with, which is nodes of graph and transition with the state variable. You could see it as more specific if else, but technically, yeah. Because anything you can make with state machine, you can make it with complex system of if and else. It's just an organizational design pattern that helps you think about your system with an easier and more compartmentalized manner, where you're specifying what happens that causes transition between state to state. And this is useful for when you need very specific state and behavior, like oftentimes animation. It does break down when you need a lot of stuff. I would strongly encourage you to go look up some state machine concept. Otherwise, I'm releasing a video on state machine, so that's one thing. Otherwise, see if this video makes sense. Yeah, I just released it 2 days ago, where I basically was like, don't use state machine. Ah, promotion here, self-promotion. But, you know, it's all tongue-in-cheek when I say don't use state machine. I mean, I don't really mean that, obviously, because I use my own. But that's something you can watch and see if it reveals anything. I do explain a little bit about usage of state machine at the beginning, so do feel free to leave comments on any concept that you are not clear on, because that's an opportunity for me to make more content. So it helps me, it helps you. Well, it helps me to help you, I guess. That's more specific. Okay. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I would love these berries to farm. So I think this is what's going to happen. The mound, the dirt mound, I want the berry folk to create a dirt mound on the map. And I think, I don't know. Should there be, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a fertile soil where berry folk can plant their berries in. And so I'll do that by creating a little sprite here. And because I want to do this whole like goal action oriented planning thing where sprite, I want the berry folk to be like, I want more berries. How do I achieve that? And then they go to the seed, pick up the seed, look for a spot that they can plant the seed. And then when they find it, they plant a seed and then water them. So I think there's an idea of like, okay, well, we could have a body of water. And then we could have a, wait, I used to have water tile. I don't know what happened to that. So they could have a body of water and then they could have fertile ground. Fertile ground itself doesn't seem too complicated. I think I can make that pretty quickly here. Zabazev says, plant grandpa in the ground, harvest seed. Hell yeah. That'll come. Each berry will have to make a decision on... There hasn't been much... Okay, this would be funny, okay? So, as a goal action-oriented thing, it would be fun to be like, they just want more berries. They want the berries to survive, right? So if you provide seeds, they don't have to kill their gramps, right? Because you're like, oh, there's seed. I'm going to go plant the seed. And live happily ever after. Everybody lives forever. But I do think it would be interesting to build in these like competitive nature where as the resources become like less and less, the berries become a little bit more violent in order to survive and achieve their goal. That could be interesting to see. And I'll be like, the video could be interesting. And I'll be like, I did not program any of these things to do any of these actions exactly. With my system, these individual berry folks decide what they need to do to survive. And we're just simply watching it. K McBack says, state machine? More like spaghetti machine. I like your take on it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay. But I do think that that's kind of funny. All right. So, fertile ground. What does fertile ground look like? I think probably some of this thing. And then I think we can just do a simple one instead of getting too complicated here. We'll do a little grid. Show grid. Then we'll just go something like little patchy area. Da, 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 like that. This is a plantable area, and then we'll do a little randomness here to show that it is fertile land. Kamek says almost that time. What? Who cares says, lol, Kamek is in here too. 60 minutes left. What? 60 minutes left for what? What are you guys doing here? Oh, do you guys watch somebody else? Are they almost online? Let me know who they are. I'll just end the stream on time. So I can just raid them if that's the case. Okay. Something like that. Zebazev says, you would rob Grandpa of his noble sacrifice? Terrible. I mean, hey, they might do that. What if it's like, I should, you know what would be fun? If okay. Hello, scope creep. Scope creep, mama. Never end. Yeah, no, I was thinking it would be sick. It would be sick to see like the story narrative where kind of like Dwarf Fortress, I suppose, where each of the berry or each of the NPCs that are on the map will be like, blah, 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 wants to blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 decides to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And you get this like history and story of how this like war-torn land has been healed by a group of grandpas who decide to sacrifice themselves. Who cares says, lol, I mean, we can, but you don't have to end your stream to watch their stream. It's true. But I mean more like, I mean, it gives me a good excuse to go raid someone, you know what I mean? Okay, I think this looks kind of fertile. I'm going to say this is a fertile ground. And this gets created. And of course, I suppose it gets tilled. And then I'll just save this, honestly. For now. Savazef says, Berry World, the warring states. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that could be an interesting experiment to be like, hey, I've always been interested, and I mentioned this in my video, but I've always been interested in procedural narrative. So, K-Macback says, State Explosion. Yeah, I'll have to look more into HSM like you mentioned. But for now, the Finite Spaghetti is working. I mean, if it works, it works. I have this state machine right now. So far, I didn't have a need for hierarchical. But the design of this specific state machine that I'm working on has built-in ability to handle nested state. So if you look at my Berryfolk state and look at the state node, look, it has an export for inserting another state machine. So technically, for each of the young, mature, old, I could have inserted this particular state machine into each of the nodes as its own. That's a possibility, different instances of it. So that means that's an interesting thing we could do. Anyways, okay, so we got the fertile ground now, and I'm gonna draw a few fertile grounds down so that there's something to actually work with. Maybe I'll patch it out here and there. So let's see. And then give ability for them to create this later, but like so. Like that. And then we'll make some, I don't know how well this will work, but we'll see. Let's say we do one of these things, right? Yay. We got some forest. Obviously, it doesn't have any collision logic right now, so it's going to be interesting, but we'll see how it goes. But for now, let's say this is the case, right? Berryfolk here. And they can walk all over it if they want to. K-Macback says, did you draw the art? Yeah, all of these are... This was back... Okay. Oh, you have no idea how many projects I have. But I guess it wouldn't be unusual, given that everybody knows this is a notorious indie dev problem. Back in the day, which I still am hopeful, this is one of those things, like, because I really want procedural narrative stuff. Let's see. I mean, the short of it is, yes, I drew that. Also, on my itch, I do have a isometric tile map package, so go buy it. Who cares? YouTube says, a lot of graphics are done by Ezra. He's really good at pixel art. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. K-Macback says, nice. It looks good. Thank you. Appreciate that. And hence why we need merch, guys. I'm trying to make a merch right now. $5 isekai. Maybe it's this one. K-McFest said I only know him for his singing. What? Oh, you were there then. Oh, wow. That's like a year ago, isn't it? When I used to be forced to sing. I mean, I could still do it, but I just ran out of songs to sing. I wonder if this still works. I haven't opened it since 4.3, so... Okay, this was when I was testing connections for pathing. What about this one? Okay, wrong one. Yeah, it was during 2-hour stream. Wait, what? Hey, what happened to my map generation? Is this a different one? Interesting, interesting. I don't remember anything that I've made, apparently. Okay. Well, never mind. Yes, I drew it. that's the best I can say. I'm sorry. K-McBeck says 5 months, a year. What's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? We got it. It's okay. But yeah, more merch, more asset pack. That's my hope. I also do art commissions if you need it, but I'm also busy, so okay. Let's see. Goal oriented. First thing first, when we start this game, a Gramp, or not a Gramp, but Barry is just chilling. If I drop a seed, it goes, oh, there's a seed. So I think, first of all, Barry should be roaming around, right? K McBeck says, I met Ezra at Godot in Boston. What? Wait, you... Hold on. How does that work? Did you see me sing after you met me in Godot? Did I sing after that? I don't remember doing that. I feel like that was like a... Or did you see me at Godot, but you also saw me before that? Yeah. It's funny. It's a small world. I think if you are looking for just like Godot content maker in general, you end up seeing the same people over and over again. Because also they just kind of end up streaming or rating each other anyways. Wow, 6 months. I guess that is about the time I started Godot, huh? Isn't it? Or I not started, I went to. Anyways, we're gonna have to give Barry folks some goal-oriented behavior. Let's think about this a little bit. So we want some behaviors here. The behavior one is scanning for things, just walking around. So if I say, okay, we're gonna create behavior, and let's say this will contain multiple lists of behaviors, right? I guess these should be called behaviors. And then first thing we're going to do for behavior tree, this one is not a, yeah, we're going to have to just attach it and define it. So first thing I want is the behavior of exploring. Explore behavior, which will attach a script, and we're under Barry Folk. Ooh, we're really mixing everything, and I have no plan, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We have a behavior here, and then we're going to call this a behavior tree. Easy behavior tree. Everything is easy. We got the easy dialogue, easy behavior tree. Wait. I clearly need a break because... Oh, thanks for the follow. Izhan Dev. Izhan, welcome. Wow, you guys were like back to back, 1 month apart. Almost exactly 1 month apart. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I also didn't know I had this command set up for my CloudBot. Okay, so class name for this one. Wow, 28 seconds. The freshest. Hey, get your berry right now. So in our stream, well, first of all, let me do it in order of what benefits me. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. This is a great world. We're making our Godot plugin / template for AI because I made a video on it, YouTube. Okay, so let me insert my YouTube first on Twitch. Go follow my YouTube. I do Godot content, game dev, and programming stuff. That's the first agenda. Second, explaining this. So I made a video recently, Godot AI plugin. Yeah, basically. That's the idea. But then I'm hesitant to use the word AI, and I don't know what else to use it. Because people nowadays think immediately Gen AI. And what I don't want to do is bait people into thinking that I'm talking about Gen AI integration. Because people will be like, ah, whatever. And then they click off. And that's bad for me. So I don't know. But so basically I did a research and / little like clickbaity video saying like, stop using state machines. State machines bad. Which is not exactly true, right? The whole point was like, here's an alternative solution to state machine that you can use for your own thing, which happens to be heavily robotics and AI based. And as part of that, I did all those research and reported on what you would use what for when. And so as a proof of that, I'm trying to make finite state machine that has been improved with all the other additional behavior, like push down automata, which is the stack history, hierarchical state machine for organizational structure, behavior tree, which you might be familiar with, is basically decision tree for behavior, utility AI, priority-based action choices, and then GOAP, which is short for goal-oriented action planning. And so I am making that plugin right now. And I've already did it. Well, I've already done it and created the quote-unquote plugin code based on, you know, what I think should be the base. However, we haven't tested it. So as a test, we're making this little God manager game thing where we're giving these individual AI characters some goals and AI logic, and then we can kind of interact it a little bit, but then mostly you're observing this world. So so far we've used a state machine we've created, which works fine. And now we're using our behavior tree. So that's what we're at. Eyes on Dev says, how many time do you have with Godot, like using Godot and programming? Oh, hold on. Whoa. How many times do you have? Okay. How many years have I worked with Godot? I'm guessing that's what you're asking. And do I like using Godot and programming in Godot? Technically, I've been using Godot for 2 years. I have been software programmer or software developer. I guess SDE was my official title when I was in Amazon and Google for 10 plus years. So I've been in the industry, but mostly as backend. So I didn't really have game dev experience, but I have software engineering experience. It's okay. Your English is fine. I just need to understand. So I started using Godot 2 years ago when 4.0 first came out, luckily. And then I've been using it since. I like it. A lot of people like to use the C-based language for it. They use the C# language for it because it allows for it. Or is it C++ or C#? It's C#, right? I like using GZScript because I like the philosophy behind using inbuilt scripting language. And then if I see any kind of shortage, being able to be a kind of like advocate for improvement, because I do think that the accessibility of making games should be more open so that people with creativity can actually make the game that they envision. And that's also why I also make tutorial videos to try to build people's fundamentals on programming so more people can access game development. Anyways, so yeah, I'm using it. It should have a lot of shortages, but it does most things fine. So far, I haven't run into anything. but I guess that is also because I have done nothing but 2D so far. I haven't done 3D yet. Aizhan Dev says, you were in Google? Yeah, I was, I'm an ex-Googler. I was working in Google Cloud for like 2 years, and then the experimental team for 1 year, which when I was actually in AI. Ironically, I was in an AI team because we were in the experimental team, and then they did the whole big tech layoff, and then our entire org got cut. And then like 2 months later, they were like, oh, AI is a thing now. Like, so I was working in Google for AI related products before the AI became big, and now they don't have access to any of those codes. Anyways, those fun times. But that's a lore for another day. I'm pretty sure I get tired, or other people get tired of me talking about my experience with big tech. I've talked enough. The Zero G Scott says bad timing. Yeah. And it happens. It happens. You know, I could, if I tried to go get an interview at probably like startup who's only on the hype train and doesn't quite understand what it means, I could probably really sell myself to be like, yeah. Yeah, I can give you value with my industry knowledge of being in the early stages of AI before it became big, to have you know everything they are using right now is built on top of what I've built. Not true. But I mean, that's the nature of I mean, that's also why I hate the industry and their like interview process. Like it's a bunch of BS. Like, you can be truthful, but at the end of the day, as long as you actually know what you're talking about, you can make any story around it. It doesn't really matter what the story is. It just needs to be convincing, which I hate. But here we are. Aizhan Dev says, it's interesting your story in big tech is not boring. Thank you. I appreciate that. But also, go watch my YouTube video on that. I have one big one where I say I'm not going to go back to big tech. But a lot of people are confused. I did use a pretty bad comparison, and everybody's like fighting on the comments. But, you know, I was just telling my personal story. I didn't say don't do it or it's evil, that you shouldn't do it. Anybody who does it is evil. I'm just saying it's not for me. Aizhan Dev says, do you know assembly programming language? I do, in fact. You know, it was kind of like a requirement for us to learn assembly back in the day when I was going to school. When you first learn, so there's a fundamental computing class. I forgot the class name, where I was taking, it was one of the early stages of programming. What you learn in that class is a 2-semester class, is you start by learning circuits and transistors, what the transistors do, and then how to make gates like AND gate, NOT gates, XOR gates, and how to use those things to build all the other gates. And then you use a simulator of those gates called Logisim to build out a circuitry of a basic CPU and memory. So you actually end up building a computer yourself, which was really fun. So now you understand the computer completely in a circuit. And then the next step is, now that you understand how to program with the signals like 0001, the next improvement is, well, obviously, programming with numbers and punch cards are terrible. So what you can do is replace those numbers with assembly instructions. So now you have these like fundamental understanding of how computer works, how the computer is built, and why the computer needs what it needs. And then you're putting a wrapper of assembly on top of it. So I do understand assembly in that sense. And you know, obviously I've done some homework there, but I never actually done any like personal project with assembly, to a point where like I know basic assembly commands, but any kind of like modern assembly things with modern instructions, I haven't used them before. Like I only have the knowledge up to like the beginning processors, like jump, add, those things, adder. Like we had to program our own adder. So, you know, there's a limit to how much you can do. And then after that, what you learn, well, what we learned was C, right? Because C is basically assembly plus functioning, right? So, but then C, we use it in the context of hardware manipulation. So it's not just a programming language that controls computer. It's like C can access memory and circuitry, depending on how the programming is programmed. And Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy programming back in the day, is done in C. And the first thing you do is learning to flip a bit on a memory that is responsible for turning a pixel on the screen. And that's how you learn this like transition between assembly to C hardware. And then you learn how like what this is right now. So that was fun times. That was one of my favorite class, because you know, you finally get to really understand what everything and how everything works. And I truly believe knowing all those things not only is fun, but is helpful for being strategic on how to optimize things. But yeah. So long story of telling you that yes, I understand assembly, but I don't know it as in like personal level. Okay, so this is going to be explore behavior. And this one, of course, because it is a abstract class, it's going to ask me to implement all these functions. Probably not going to do any, what do you call them? Priority stuff. So it automatically works. First thing, what does explore require? I feel like explore needs to probably walk around, right? It's gonna have a note called walk around, which may be a random walk. And then spot interest, which is scanning. I guess we should call it scan the area, whatever it is. And then if the scan is successful, right? If the scan is true, then we wanna pick up. And I think that would be a behavior of going and picking something up. I wonder if that can be reused. So we could have another behavior called should it be a pickup item? I guess pickup item. Pick up item behavior. So I'm going to just like create a bunch of these different behaviors that can be used, and then I'll probably nest them somehow. One upgrade that I can think of making is making some of these nodes reusable instead of depending on children. I do think that there's a benefit to making these children be programmatically assigned as opposed to structurally assigned. Because if I want to use pickup item under scan, but also somewhere else as standalone, I want it to be outside and then assign this as under here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Eyes on Dev says, I'm trying to learn assembly with 15-year-old. You recommend to continue learning assembly? I mean, it's fun. If it's fun, you should do it. There's no harm in learning it. There's no harm in learning it, especially at that age. But if you are focused on not just understanding things, then you should probably do more like programming language first to understand the programming. Like it's a bit of a roundabout way to get to programming, because typically you would get an easy to approach programming language first and learn how to work with variable, if, for loop, right? And then you use them to make stuff and you understand that, oh, this is how computer works. And then you can go down to, okay, well, how do we optimize this? And how do we use different systems or different strategies of the programming? That's when you go, I need to understand how programming works in the first place. And that's when you go assembly typically. But, you know, other way around works too. It's just, you know, whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, so pick up item behavior. I think what I'm going to do here now, for the tree, I think we're going to export a new thing where we can assign behavior. So we'll say we're going to export children, additional children, and that's going to be an array of behavior tree, which will be assigned here. And basically whatever's noted out here will probably use first in the order. I think, I don't know if I want to make it indexed. So it'll go through all the children first. And then it's going to go through the additional children. Unless it's like based on priority. I guess I should probably do this where var all children will equal to the append array of get children, right? Append array. So we got this. This is going to be an array, all children, and then we're going to append array, and then we're going to append another array called additional children behavior. Child behavior, I guess. Additional child behaviors. Like that. And then we're going to go through this instead. There you go. Dev says, thanks for the tip. Yeah, no problem. Love to give the tips. Zabazev says, hearing you talk about the industry while literally spam job application is kind of funny. I mean, sometimes it's the reality is that you have a skill set and you need money and a job, right? It's nothing evil about needing that. Like, you're not responsible for making that world. Now, some might argue if you participate in an evil company and evil pattern, then it makes you no better, but that's not the case. You know, sometimes you are stuck in that world. Now, you do want to make a change, I think. And hope and the dream is you can get to a comfortable, stable state first where you can get ahead. You have an opportunity to get ahead so that you can be the change maker. And this is why, I think this is why politically and socially, why the elites and the quote unquote evil top dogs want the basis to be suffering. Because you start to enact change. People start to enact change and advocate for changes when they are finally comfortable and is able to go beyond comfort, right? Because until then, you're surviving. When you're surviving, you're forced to stay with the status quo. You don't have the opportunity or the leisure to think about making change and breaking the status quo. It takes a lot more courage to do so, right? So, yeah, here's a little tinfoil. Xheimer says, hi, I'm new here. I wanted to become a game dev for so long. I didn't know how scripting works, so I learned Python first. Now, if I'm to switch to Godot, to GTScript, would it be a huge learning curve? No. If you've learned your Python as kind of like the basis, the GTScript should feel pretty familiar for the most part. I mean, fundamental programming concept is programming concept. You're just learning to speak in different tongue, essentially. As I always say, variable, all the data structures, what they mean, understand that, how to use if, how to form a conditional, how to call functions and organize functions, some basic concepts like recursive and loops, how to make recursive functions into a regular iterative function. You don't even have to know this part, but like understanding big O of things, like the operational speed, that is all programming language independent. It doesn't depend on the programming language. So no, it wouldn't be too hard, especially because they're very similar. Azandev says, no, it's easy. Godot and GDScripts are similar. Sorry, I wanted to say Python and GDScripts are similar. Yeah, yeah, Godot and GDScripts is definitely similar. But yeah, Python and GDScript is similar. Zabazev says, I have a biochem degree. I'm biking 3 hours total to stock shelves right now. I just want a car, Lamau. Yeah, I mean, look, basic minimum things. Is it so much to ask? It's not. Just how the world has put us into. Nightbath says, it's hard living in Seattle area working for big tech than seeing all the homeless around, knowing that I am within the system of income inequality that's driving those problems. Yeah, it is difficult. And that's why, you know, sometimes at some point you have to disillusion yourself and kind of stand alone first. It is, I don't know. I mean, I commend you if you're able to kind of switch immediately and be like, okay, I'm doing this and now I'm doing that. But there's a moment of like, okay, you're in the system, you accepted that this is something that you need to do, or that's the only thing you can do. And then you come out of it and you stand alone and say, okay, now I'm living for myself and learning to finally define my own path and define my own morality. And then you can go into making those decisions, and it's nothing wrong with that. That kind of path is nothing wrong with that. But it's really hard to break out of that. It's really hard to break out of that, especially because everybody's trying to prevent you. You know, okay, another tinfoil. Here's my tinfoil. Reason people are pushing for RTO. There's so many reasons. And it's not, I know people are like making silly suggestions like, oh, managers and admins just want to feel like they're working. They want to see people, and they just want this like power over people. That's why they prefer that. These are old crooks that doesn't really do any work, that wants to pretend to be important. Some truth to that, but I think it's bigger than that, because I bet a lot of the investment firms that owns these companies probably have a retail investment, like retail, what do you call? Retail property investment that is not going to do well if people are not coming to a centralized city. That's one. Another theory is that the people who are working saves more. Typically, they spend more money and have less time when they work RTO, which means you're trying to purposely make people more miserable, because that allows them to do what? Like, if you are basically, you're taking a pay cut by doing an RTO, which makes you poorer, which makes you more desperate to stick around and stick to the status quo, and you have less time. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of part of it. That's my theory. Who Cares YouTube says, what's the toughest question you were asked during your Google interview? This was kind of interesting. So when I was interviewing for Amazon and when I was conducting interview for Amazon, we did a lot of questions of, I mean, obviously there's a whole leadership principle, like, can you work with the corporate? But when it comes to just technicality, there was a lot of questions around object-oriented programming. And so that was the most important thing. Do you have your fundamental data structure and algorithm? Can you think about object-oriented design? And can you explain yourself and clarity? That's like basic for everybody. But something that I noticed about Google interview for technical interview is that they focus a lot on graph-based algorithms. So you know, you understand graph traversal and all those things. But thing is, if you don't do that every day. So a lot of times if you come to the interview unprepared, you're spending a lot of time trying to refigure out how to do this, which, you know, at the end of the day, you get to the point, but, you know, you're wasting a lot of time trying to reinvent how to do first order, in order, post order traversal based on your need. So one thing that really worked for me is like just templatizing that loop of like, while blah 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 is not empty, if blah 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 blah, do I use a queue, do I use a stack, do I use a priority queue? Having to templatize that and just being able to just spit out without having to like go through line by line to confirm if it works or not helped me get to a point of being able to talk about my other strength. So that was my struggle with Google Interview initially, transitioning from Amazon. Xheimer says, glad to hear hope is not lost yet. Lol, thank you. Yeah, hope is not lost yet. No. Shoot. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Xheimer. Let's see. Oh, we got also Zero G Scott on YouTube. Thanks for the follow. Okay. Nightbat says, it's hard living in Seattle. Yeah, we already read that. And says the company is also tax breaks for having big offices in retail areas because the city wants to drive traffic to. Yeah, it's all part of it. It's all part of the economy shenanigans, which is not working very well. It's not very working well. Well, we'll see something big. I mean, actually, and I've been saying this, we actually saw recently, right? There's another wave of layoff coming through, right? Amazon announced it. Meta just announced a bunch. I think there's more coming yet. And more coming. And they're going to be like, AI is the reason? I don't know. I mean, AI is the reason. The reason is that they committed too hard on AI. So, but we'll see. Nightbat also says traffic. Yes. In parentheses, Nightbat says, I might be a few minutes behind the stream. Internet issues. No problem. It says I have excellent connection, but I might be delayed as well. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Is this okay? Is this okay that I'm talking about this type of stuff? I mean, I guess it's part of the stream. I should probably clip some of these political stuff. I'm sure TikTok will eat that up. Though I don't know if I'm interested in going viral for those things. Seems like a lot of trouble. Aisan says, in Google for programming, they use Gemini. I've heard from my friends who are still there in Amazon and Google. They're pushing for using internally AI a lot. Most senior engineers that I know are very much doubtful because they've seen how bad it is. Most new hires are heavily relying on it. And they're starting to see laziness causing problem. So people are not double checking AI's work. People are not double reviewing AI's work and just trusting it. And yeah, because also they're overworked. So we'll see. Well, I don't know about Google though. Google people are never overworked from what I can remember. Amazon people are definitely overworked, but different story. Anyways. Okay, so we were making some behavior tree here. Okay, so pick up item behavior. Assuming that it's going to have some item. This one is going to be... Should it be find and pick up? I guess find target. Find target. And then, or maybe finding is not necessary. It just needs to go, I think. Walk to target. And then this one's going to be pick up target. Walk to target, pick up target. Exploring is work around randomly and then scan. And then we're going to have another behavior, hopefully, that is plant seed, which will have behaviors such as explore. I think we do the explore duplicates. So we want to explore and find, unless it already knows where it is, I guess. So walk to fertile, and then we wanted to plant seed, which will be plant seed action, because this is a behavior and this is action. Okay, so some of these planning, so this kind of is giving me a structure and planning of what it would look like in general. I think we can work with this. It would be awesome later when we add water plant, which will be some behavior of walk to water, you know, pick up water, and then walk to plant, and then node would be water plant. And some of these things I think can be overlap. I just need to kind of write this down for me to actually visualize what's happening. In terms of goal-oriented, I think, I don't know, there's nothing really goal-oriented about these things. It's pretty one-dimensional. So we'll have to think about this later. Zapazev says, make behavior touch grass purely for 3-second joke that we all know isn't funny. Yeah, just like people see it for the first time is funny for like 2 seconds. And it's like, okay, all right, I get it. The joke insists on itself. Izendev says, I think, in my opinion, that people that says that AI allows you programming faster is because they don't check the code. Because if you check the code and understand the code, maybe understanding the code tasks you more time that make the code. Okay, so they did a research, by the way. In fact, I think it was Stanford or MIT, where they basically got a proficient programmer, and then I mean, it's a little biased because they're already used to programming, and they were two groups from what I remember. There was a group who don't usually use AI, and then made them use AI. And there's a group that usually uses AI, and then made them use AI. And then they compared for both group, compare the kind of proficiency of programming with the AI and programming without the AI. And then the research result was that the programming without the AI was faster. That was a result. Now, obviously, you have to look at the sample group and what they used. But as a headline, that's interesting, right? And I believe that because if I imagine myself using AI, I've used like ChatGPT and some of the other Gen AI stuff for other purposes. There's a lot of like, it's more fun. Okay. Don't come for pitchforks or me. It's more fun to do some of the work if you're using AI. I think that's the only difference. It's more fun to use AI because we're social creatures. We like to talk. We like to like do these. Scanning through documents and reading them, like naturally, like going to the library kind of doesn't feel as fun as just like, oh, give me this. Jarvis, talk about this. And then you just go and like double check it. It's more entertaining. And that might be the difference. And that could be a good difference, but you know, it's definitely not a matter of efficiency, I think. Okay, I already read that. Great. All right, you know what? I think I've been online long enough, honestly. Thanks for watching. I usually stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you need a password manager, if you're in need of password manager anyways, think about supporting me by subscribing / getting the product called protonpass by following the link. All right. I'm going to rate out here. So I am live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Follow Discord to get announcements. Blah, blah, blah. I think that's everything. I think I've said everything I need to. Where should we go? Valheim. Oh, they're playing games. I can't go to a game right now. We do have Hypnotic. I mean, we go to Hypnotic all the time. I wonder if there's... Hold on. Let me see if I can find... Not really. I don't know. It's been a while since I rated unusual, smaller streamer, but you know, looking for a new stream to rate is pain in the butt. So I'll just go to Hypnotic. All right, see you everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I'm gonna say bye to Twitch first here. Bye. And then once that's done, we'll say bye to YouTube. All right, there.